All right, so I'm on joke patrol for this one since Kevin's not here. But uh, how much does it cost to kill Iron Man's parents?
Oof.
It seems like a high target, right?
Yeah, that seems pretty
Howard
expensive.
Stark. Well,
It's an important guy.
just a buck.
Oh
That's right.
man,
That's right.
yikes! Civil War reference there.
All about delivery, friends.
Yes,
Stare into the camera.
well done, well done.
Hello and welcome back to the Real Heroes podcast channel. You got Cory and Nick here today, and there's some news and some rumors and things in the Marvel universe. It feels like we're talking about Marvel a lot lately, but 2021 is like the deluge of Marvel for fans. So,
Yeah,
Nick, let's just hop right into it. There was a rumor, I think it was Deadline that broke the news,
yep.
that Chris Evans might be negotiating a return to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and the internet, as it does when something like this happens, it basically exploded, and
Exploded. Yeah,
everyone was like, "Oh my God, Cap is back!" Oh, and then like 3 hours later, Chris Evans posted something that was like news to me, and then a
yeah.
shrug emoji. So who the hell knows what to make of this? Marvel, obviously, they're very secretive.
Right.
The She-Hulk casting is a perfect example of that. Tatiana Maslany was cast as She-Hulk. The trades all broke it. She was
Yep.
interviewed on TV and said, "No, I have no idea what you're talking about. That's definitely not me." And then, a couple months later, Kevin Feige was like, "Hey, Tatiana Maslany is She-Hulk." So
Yeah. It
um,
it me.
it it's very possible that this is a true rumor. I don't know. I don't care either way. I think Marvel has a lot of good stuff coming. I love Chris Evans. I think he's great as Cap.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know. What do you think of this? Do you think it's true? Do you think it's false? Where are we going?
Initially, I thought it was cool, but then you got to ask questions. Why?
Yeah,
When? And how?
yeah.
And maybe throw the what in there. What are they doing? you know, uh, like I don't know if it's a wise decision. As much as I again love Chris Evans playing Captain America,
Right.
he was sort of born for that role, I think. And it hasn't been that long since he gave up the role, you, literally and figuratively within Endgame and in real life to pursue other roles in his acting career. He was great in Knives Out, and
Yeah. Defending
the
Jacob.
defending Jacob
Appleton.
again. Really really good in that. So it's good to see him do other things. I think he's had a little bit more success than Robert Downey Jr. has.
Yeah, we don't talk about Doolittle.
Yeah, no, it's like, oh, that popped up a movies to watch.
Oh,
Skip.
I'm good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
I think
let's
Downey might
move
be
on.
back sooner than
That's
Chris Evans might.
that's what I was like. Really, they're not going to bring Iron Man back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whether it's like a multiverse thing or Armor Wars or Ironheart, there's a lot of stuff that has his legacy
Right.
attached to it still.
Ti-
So I don't
and
know.
I think again, if you're going to bring Captain America back, he's old.
Yeah,
He's a withered man who, he might still have some strength left, but he's no super soldier. I think the possibility of him actually returning would be in Secret Wars, not to be confused with Secret Invasion.
right, right.
But I don't see Secret Wars happening for I don't know.
7 or 8 years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, we're talking phase five possibly.
right. Because
You
I think
know,
Feige said no Avengers movies in Phase 4,
right?
so it would
So
have
if
to be Phase 5.
yeah, if he's, I don't know what other were there possibility he could pop up. The multiverse of madness, maybe,
Maybe, I
but
don't know.
like, is it a cameo? Is it a real thing? Again, I personally don't think it's true, unless that's Marvel, their PR team doing a good job to try and like nip it in the bud,
Yeah.
real quick and be like, Chris, just
We need you
type
to
on.
tweet this right
Yeah,
now.
it's on Twitter. People will believe it, right?
That's
Like
right.
the
Yeah.
internet will go ape shit, and they'll be like, "Oh, well, maybe like it's not true." But again, we could find out like 6 months later, or after a couple movies have come out, and be like, "No, he's actually back."
Right.
Feige be like, "Yes, Evans is returning to reprise his role as Cap." So, I also don't want him to come back yet. I
Yeah.
think we haven't seen enough story happen without him. That we felt him, give up the role, give up the shield to Anthony Mackie, to Falcon.
Yep.
Let him and Bucky sort of fill in that gap. Like we haven't seen enough, and I think they deserve to take the mantle and
Yeah.
do Steve Rogers proud, and do him justice.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think that's one of the things that uh, comic books tend to go back to the well too quickly, too often.
Yeah.
And it's almost become like a joke that it's like, oh yeah, no comic book character is ever dead. They'll just be back 3 episodes or 3 issues from now.
Yeah.
And that I don't want that for Steve. I think that his arc wrapped up so nicely and so poetically in Avengers Endgame that to bring him back right away literally makes no sense, and it gives none of these other properties a chance to do well before going, oh well, let's bring our number one or number two guy back, right?
Right.
I think, like you said, if he comes back for a Secret Wars type thing, that could be fun. It could be cool.
Yeah.
If they wanted to do like a Disney Plus show of like Captain America in the maybe like the 40s or 50s instead of World War One, like First Avenger, like him and his guys in World War Two, going through and doing stuff. I don't know. It could be fun, I guess, or if it's a multiverse thing, that could be something cool too. But
Yeah.
I think we need to see the events of Falcon and Winter Soldier play out first.
Yep.
You need to see Sam Wilson become Captain America by the end of that show,
Yep.
because the shield is his. And I firmly believe that show, the entire vehicle behind that show is make Sam Wilson Captain America officially.
Yeah.
And you can't bring Chris Evans back because he will completely eclipse anything that Anthony Mackie does. Not to,
Yeah.
To talk down to Anthony Mackie or anything, because he's awesome and I think he's going to be great in this new Cap type role. But
Same.
To put Chris Evans back in it is almost not fair to the process. So
yeah, it's not.
So I think if he is coming back, it might be like a cameo or a one-off type thing or a what if episode or whatever.
Right.
And then maybe 5, 6, 7 years from now he comes back and it's in Battle World and Secret Wars and it's cool.
Yeah.
We kind of move on from there. But so yeah, the question is still out there. Let us know in the comments. What do you think? Is Chris Evans coming back? If so, what is he doing? What do you want him to do?
Yeah.
We would love to engage in conversation with you guys on that. So on to the next thing, which is something that seems a whole hell of a lot more real than Chris Evans. The press tour for WandaVision was last week, and it seems like everyone is poking the bear and getting on Kevin Feige about Charlie Cox's Daredevil. And Feige, the poor guy, he's had to sit there and just be like, yeah, I hear you.
Sure.
Anything's on the table. The future of Marvel is always wide open, and the canned PR type questions or answers that he's got to give. But Murphy's Multiverse reported about a month ago that he was signed on to play Matt Murdock in Spider-Man 3. There were also some rumors that because of the Law and Order procedural style of She-Hulk, that both him and Kristen Ritter as Jessica Jones are going to show up in that show. Fascinating rumor. But then just this week, just yesterday, I think, Brandon Davis was doing his podcast for comicbook.com, and he said that Charlie Cox is already done filming his scenes for Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, that's a bold statement right there.
Yeah, but I want it. Like, more
Oh,
than
I do too.
almost any Marvel casting right now,
Yeah.
and more than any of the other Netflix characters. I need Charlie Cox to be in this universe because to me, after getting burned by the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie that I was very excited for when I was a kid, and then
Oh
not
man.
liking it that much,
Yeah.
those 3 seasons of the Daredevil show on Netflix are excellent. He's excellent in the
Oh God,
role.
yeah.
And even if he just pops up as, lawyer Matt Murdock to help Peter Parker out at the beginning of the movie, that's all I need. I just need to know that he's part of the universe and that the book is still open for him as that character.
Yeah, I think it leads up to the possibility of um us seeing him in the Daredevil suit once again. It I kind of wonder if they'll go the route with the comics where Matt Murdock is saying, "Hey, Peter Parker isn't Spider-Man," and while because I was informed with one of my best friends who is a you know enormous Spider-Man fan, and actually knows a hell of a lot more than I do in the comics. But he was saying at one point in the comics, Matt Murdock dressed up as Spider-Man while
Huh.
Peter Parker wasn't Spider-Man.
Interesting. Oh, so it's like a way of saying this is proof that Peter Parker is not Spider-Man.
Right.
It's an alibi. Okay.
Right. So
I like it.
I think we might see that, but I think there might be a lot more to it.
Huh.
I almost wonder if they might do something a little different. Um, Again, if the rumor is true with other Spider-Mans being in the movie, with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, like
Right.
they're Spider-Man and Peter Parker's in plain clothes and
Right.
human in the street. Like I'm just a kid that just graduated high school. Like I I'm not I'm not Spider-Man. Sorry guys. Sorry to disappoint. This guy
Hmm.
was lying. J. Jonah Jameson is making up shit for the news, the Daily Bugle. It's all a bunch of malarkey.
He's grifting and all that. So
Exactly.
yeah.
So, but meanwhile, Matt Murdock is defending him for whatever case is that the city might be trying to, push on him. And, but man, if we do see Daredevil suit up in that movie, that would be great. But
Yeah.
again, is it true or not?
Yeah. I think it's probably more likely that I don't think you'll see him suit up in that one.
Yeah.
I think you'll see like a courtroom thing where Peter's alone and he doesn't have a attorney to represent him, and then it's like, you know, like in the Miranda stuff when you get arrested, it's like if you can't afford an attorney, one will be provided for you because Peter
Right.
still has to you know put up the guise that he lives in uh, Queens
Queens.
and he's
Yeah.
poor and
Yeah.
I can't afford an attorney, and then it's like, oh well, the state of New York is providing you this guy, and in walks Matt Murdock, and Peter's like, a blind lawyer, what? And he like there's like a funny little in joke there or whatever, and then
This guy can't
uh
even see. Yeah.
it lets you know that Matt Murdock is around, that Charlie Cox is playing him, and then they can do whatever, whether it's Disney Plus or Hulu or future movies or whatever. Just excited to have him.
Yeah. I feel like, if if things are somewhat back to normal and we can go back to theaters, I feel like that will be a moment where people would clap,
Oh yeah, I think so
uh,
too.
to see him kind of walk out um, into the courtroom or something along those lines. Because I'd say between him and you know Jessica Jones, I say maybe John Bernthal showing up as Punisher.
Maybe.
He,
That's a very violent, gory show. I don't know if they're going to
yeah.
adapt that, but
I mean, it's rated R.
very.
Deadpool is rated R.
That is
So
true. They are doing
you
R-rated
know,
Deadpool, so
it
anything's possible.
yeah, it's a possibility. I don't think we will see anything along those lines for at least a couple more years. But
Right. But it opens the door
um,
for it, for those characters
yes,
to show up. I think the only one
yeah,
that you wouldn't see, I don't think Iron Fist is going to show up. Or if it is Iron Fist, it's not going to be the same fella that played him in the Netflix
right,
show,
yeah,
because that didn't seem to do so well critically. But I wouldn't mind
yeah,
seeing Mike Coulter come back as Luke Cage. I liked his portrayal.
Yeah.
Kristen Ritter was great as Jessica Jones. Obviously, Charlie Cox. I think if Charlie Cox comes back,
The
it's
rest
almost
will.
a guarantee that Vincent D'Onofrio will be back as Kingpin.
Oof.
And I
Yeah.
think he's like top 5 Marvel villain in the
Material.
modern era. So,
Yeah.
we'll see. But
Yep.
either way, the future is very exciting between all this stuff we're talking about in our
Definitely.
other videos on WandaVision and the mystery that's unfolding there. Um, Falcon and Winter Soldier coming out, Loki, movies
Yep.
this year. There was a rumor about uh, the plot of Black Panther 2 being about Doctor Doom starting a war between Wakanda and Atlantis, and it's just like, what on earth is going on?
It's
There's a
wild.
lot. It's getting pretty exciting. So, I think that'll probably wrap things up for this video. But again, any thoughts you guys have, we'd love to hear them in the comments below. Do you think
Yep.
Charlie Cox is going to show up? Do you think Chris Evans is going to come back? Does this open the door for the other Netflix characters? We'd love to hear all your thoughts on that. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications, all the typical YouTube stuff. Please help us out because we want to grow this community and entertain you guys
Yep.
and have fun talking about nerdy stuff. So hit us up on Twitter, Real Heroes Pod, Instagram, Real Heroes Podcast. Shoot us an email at realheroespodcast@gmail.com. And until next time, we will see you guys in the next video.
Peace.